Rachel, I create colourful paintings and I make tutorials so that you can learn how to paint them too. In this video I show you how I painted this cute and colourful fox painting using acrylic paints. This is a shortened version of the video, but if you would like to watch the full-length tutorial in real time, then just head over to my Patreon. I'll add the link in the description of this video. The full-length tutorial is over 2 hours long and I explain the whole process from start to finish. This is the second fox that I've painted, and ever since I painted the first fox I knew I would definitely paint more. They're beautiful animals and their bright orange fur works perfectly with my style of painting really colourful animals. I decided on a blue background as it's the complementary colour to orange and I want the fox to really stand out. The warm orange tones of the fox will jump out from the canvas with the cool blue background. I want it to look like the fox is looking up at the moon, so I'm using slightly lighter blue paint in the top left hand corner of the canvas and darker blues at the bottom of the canvas. I then used a sponge to dab the paint to blend the blues together and create a nice smooth gradient. I wanted to add some splatters of paint to the background to give the effect of a starry sky, so I mixed a thin light blue mixture of paint and flicked it onto the canvas using a fan paintbrush. I love adding splatters of paint to backgrounds. It's a great way to add interest and to bring the painting to life. For a small canvas of this size, a paintbrush works really well, but if you're painting onto a large canvas and want bigger and clearer splatters of paint, then I recommend that you use a palette knife. I've actually created a video showing you exactly how to do this, so I'll add a link to that into the description of this video for you. I painted this fox in 2 layers, which I do with most of my animal paintings. In the first layer I added the paint and figured out where to put the colours. I used light yellow paints in the highlighted areas of the fox's face and fur, and dark pink and purple paint for the deepest shadows. I then filled in the remaining mid-tones with a bright orange paint. I didn't worry too much about adding the fur texture at this stage because this is what I'll do in the second layer. I just focused on getting the paint onto the canvas and the right colours and shades into the right areas. I find this technique really helpful when creating a painting, and if you hold the painting further away and squint at it, it will give you a better idea of whether you have painted the highlights and shadows in the right places. Another thing that helps at this stage is to take a photo of your painting on your phone or camera and then look at the image. For some reason this helps to highlight any problems or areas that don't look quite right. I think it's because you can see the whole painting from further away and it gives you a different perspective. I loved using this colour palette. The blues, yellows and oranges all go together really nicely and make the painting look really bright and colourful, which is what I love. I also added shades of blue to the white fur on the fox's neck, which almost look as if the sky is reflected in the fur. I love experimenting with different coloured paints and using different colours to create certain shades. To create the furry texture of the fur, I used a large pointed paintbrush. I used the same technique that I teach in my How to Paint White Fur video, which I'll link to in the description if you want to see it. Even though that video is specifically about white fur, the actual technique can be used with any colour. The fox's fur forms into clumps, particularly in the neck, and this painting technique captures this in an effective and simple way. You don't have to worry about painting all of the individual fur lines, but you'll still end up with a really similar effect. I continued to add fur texture all over the fox painting until I was happy with how he looked. I wanted him to look really cute and fluffy, with the longer strands of fur that are distinctive to foxes. To add the finer fur lines, I just used slightly thinner paint. This was such a fun painting to create. Foxes are such beautiful animals and capturing their expressions and personalities in a painting is really enjoyable. They have such lovely natural tones in their fur, which I can emphasise when I'm painting to create a piece of art that is bursting with colour but still resembles a fox in nature. Finding this balance between nature and colour is one of my favourite parts of creating a painting. I love to experiment with the natural tones that we find in nature and add lots of contrast and vibrancy to create a really fun animal painting. Painting an animal's eyes and nose is one of my favourite parts to paint. I'm not sure why I usually leave them until last. I think it's because I prefer to get a lot of paint onto the canvas at the beginning to make the painting less daunting and to give me the impression that I'm getting it done quicker. And I always spend a really long time on the eyes, so I think it would feel like it's taking me too long if I did them at the beginning. It's also nice to leave them until last because I do really enjoy painting them, so it leaves me with something to really look forward to. I really hope you like watching the process of this fox painting. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more colourful animal tutorials and videos like this.